This is my note, appearance as before, and then Edison Katanga. Sir, you had told us when we were leaving that the police licenses people to bring ammunition into the country, right?
That's right.
And you had also told us that modern primers, did you say that modern primers no longer contain lead, barium, and antimony?
Modern primers no longer isolate.
And you are not aware if that is the majority, if that is the case of the majority of primers in Uganda?
It is true.
Are you aware or you're not aware?
Not aware.
You have prosecution exhibit, is it 31, the ballistics report? It's one of those.
With me.
Yes. There are a number of items submitted. It was the evidence of the ballistics expert that they received a total of 30 bullets in their possession. And I just need to confirm if that's the case.
Where can I find that?
You have to count all the ammunition you received on that report.
So where can I find that in the report?
What was received? Items received at the very beginning. Will just take us through what you received.
You mean under introduction?
Yes.
So introduction, A, exhibits described below were submitted to the laboratory for examination. Air to Kwame Emmanuel, the 3rd of November 2023, and assigned laboratory reference number PFS/EA/407/2/2023.
For the exhibits what?
1 4I 4 the black clusters are arms pistol gun serial number UG 16222 00061
Just stop there. So they received a pistol, right? That's what it means. They received a pistol.
Okay.
I'm asking you. They received a black pistol.
I don't know.
Is that what it says?
I don't know.
What does it say?
It says the 4A black cluster arms pistol gun serial number.
What is before that 4A?
Who is exhibit signed exhibit submitted, were submitted about the examination. Here, maybe it's an exhibit. Yes.
It's a pistol.
It's an exhibit.
Okay. An exhibit of a pistol. Remember not to be evasive. Try.
What is the pistols and stuff? What is it? What is it saying? A pistol, is it?
The black Kazakhstan arms pistol gun.
Thank you. The next one?
A 4-1, a pistol magazine with 10 live ammunition recovered from exhibit 4 at the crime scene.
So there was a magazine with 10 bullets.
Yes, that's what you can hear.
Did you test any of those bullets for lead, barium, and antimony?
I didn't.
Okay. Next.
5. Now that's point number 3, bullet 3. 5. One suspected pistol live ammunition recovered on the deceased's bed at the crime scene.
Did you test that? You saw that's one bullet. Did you test it for lead, barium, or antimony?
I didn't.
That's a total of 11 rounds of ammunition from the magazine and the one bullet, right?
Between 2 and 3, or combining 2 and 3.
Yes.
That adds up to 11, I guess.
And next.
That's number 4. 10, a black pistol box containing 17 pistol live ammunition.
17 bullets.
Pistol live ammunition.
Okay. Did you test any of that ammunition for lead, barium, and antimony?
I didn't.
My lord, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my colleague, to disrupt. My lord, maybe I am wrong. But is it proper that the defense cross-examines this witness on every report? He never got that, and is being asked whether he examined these things as though these samples were submitted to him for analysis. You know, in as much as you can ask anything in cross-examination, my lord, yes, it must be relevant. If you are to rely on a report, my lord, you are to rely on a report. You also have to establish the connection between the witness and the subject matter. So at best, this line of cross-examination is soliciting hearsay. And that's why the witness is actually wondering, maybe, because we must establish that he has a connection with what is being asked. Otherwise, the court record is going to be full of hearsay.
My lord, it can't be hearsay when I'm asking what he examined.
That is his answer.
Yes. My lord, even the items that he examined.
My lord, it can't be hearsay.
Even the items, my lord, that he examined are in that same. Can you confirm there's M1, M2, and M3?
But you are told here by a witness that different sets, 2 sets once, okay? 1 set for this lab, 1 set for the other one.
No.
That's what that was clarified here.
No, my lord. The very items he tested. If you get that copy, the very items he tested. You tell their movement from the internal exhibit movement document, which is this one here. Those very documents that he received come from there. So I'm asking him basically, he received some, he didn't receive others. And it's not here, so when I ask him, did you? And he says, I did not. Did you? I did not. That can't be yes.
No, it's not that. That part is what he has said.
Yes.
That is what is not the expert who looked at it. What value is this?
But if
Because
I
I
can-
remember here in court, there's a witness who clarified about if the samples are going to be taken to more than one lab, they take 2 sets of say M1, they take 2 sets of M2, and they take 2 sets of M3. If there were 3 labs, they would have taken 3 sets. That is the clarification. It's somewhere in the
My lord, I just pray for your indulgence so that you just 5 minutes to conclude this line of question. I'll begin to meet in 5 minutes. Much obliged. Continue? Yeah, what's the next one?
What is pistol? That's 5.
17 bullets.
17 pistol live ammunition to me.
Plus 11, those are now 28.
Okay.
Yes?
And point number 5. 4-2, 1 suspected pistol live ammunition recovered from level 4 in the chamber.
Those are 29 in total. Right?
You're counting.
Yes. And I'm asking you to confirm.
I have not been counting.
Okay, but
Is it there? Is there?
29 is not here. I think he's counting from up, and I'm not counting.
Okay, you found a live suspected ammunition from the chamber.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I'm reading. It's written
Yes.
here.
yes. And you can confirm that on all that ammunition, you did not carry out an elemental analysis for lead, barium, and antimony.
You are not submitted to a lab.
They were not submitted to your lab. Now, what was submitted to your lab were 12 exhibits, right?
That's true. Can you give me back my report?
No, they're also in that one.
Yeah.
In that very one.
I don't understand this one. Let me look at mine.
Yeah, who submitted?
Let me look at mine.
Who submitted them to you?
Let me look at mine.
Okay, look at yours.
Yes, all these items were submitted.
And all of them were submitted from the ballistics lab.
Correct.
Just to clear the point my lord had raised, the swabs the ballistics labs received are the very swabs you also received.
You know?
That was not what I, because someone came here and said that, I'm not saying that they were the same swaps.
Yes.
Somebody said, I can't remember, I think it was 11, that when samples are taken,
Yes.
they take copies, they don't take only one. Because if they're going to go to X number of labs, they will take X number of samples. So in this case, there were 2 of each. There were 2 M12s, there were 2 M. Yeah, some went to DNA, others went to the ballistics, some went first to, I think there was something like that, but there was more than, so you cannot say that the same thing that went to ballistics went to.
That's what I want to ask you. I know that's the question I'm putting to him. I want you to confirm that the same thing. Did you receive swabs from the police on the police form 17?
No.
Did you receive instead swabs from the ballistics department?
Yes, I received swabs from the ballistics department.
And you have no idea where the ballistics department received those swabs from?
Received blind samples.
Pardon?
Answer my question.
Received
You
blind
have no
samples.
idea
I have no idea where they came from.
where the ballistics department got the swabs from. And you can confirm in the 12 exhibits you received, you did not conduct an elemental analysis for lead, barium, and antimony.
We did not.
So it is fair to say that on none of the exhibits in this case was lead, barium, and antimony found.
We did not examine for lead, antimony, and barium.
So the answer to my question is yes.
Yes.
Maybe we can close it.
apanyagira mu polisi nehereza abantu abakorera ku by'omuntu nebahereza license abantu abatali basirikale batali ba police officers nebahereza license kutunga embundu ebitukuba regulation then ekindi yagira ngu kayatungire amasasi 30 agaragire akatunga amasasi 30 agaragire omu ballistic agari omu ballistic report. Then ekindi yagira ngu exhibit number 4-1 oba nikyekyo ekeine ni pistol magazine ekerimu amasasi 10. Then endiijo batunga isasi rumwe eribihire aha kitanda ky'omugenzi. Then aha kitanda ky'omugenzi. Then endijo ni box ya pistol erikwiragura ekerimu amashasi 17 byona amakuba gabitaga amashasi 28 mugati baragahireyo okugakebera omunanka mu laboratory. Then yagira ngu ebintu biri yatungirewe bikaba birima 12. Yes. Yagira ngu taratungire amasasi swaps kurwo munanka akagatunga taragatungira aha police form 17A ahagatunga kurwo mu ballistic.
You're aware that an inorganic gunshot residue test is also called a particle analysis, right?
Yes, I'm aware.
Are you aware of a department of the government called the Directorate of Government Analytical Laboratories, EGAL?
I'm aware.
Are you aware that it is a forensic laboratory?
Government analytical laboratory.
Does it do forensic work?
Indeed.
Are you aware? I'm going to slow down. Are you aware that they are the main lab that has been providing gunshot residue analysis to the courts in cases, in criminal cases? Are you aware that?
I'm not aware.
But they also provide gunshot residue analysis to courts.
No, they are scope of work.
Are you aware?
I don't work at
I'm asking another question.
Yes.
You don't have to always explode. Listen. You have answered the question, I'm asking another one.
Yeah.
You're not aware of their scope of work. You wanted to add that because you don't work at that. When you don't have purple, you don't work at that.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you aware, Dr. Kisitu, that in fact you are the first forensic scientist to come to this High Court of Uganda claiming that he has found gunshot residue without testing on lead barrel ammunition?
Come again.
Are you aware that you are the first forensic scientist to have come to this High Court of Uganda claiming to have found gunshot residue without testing for lead barrier ammunition?
I don't know.
In fact, your record is all over East Africa. But in all of East Africa, I'm putting it to you, no scientist has yet developed the audacity to appear under oath and claim to found gunshot residue without testing for lead, barium, and antimony. Are you aware?
I'm hearing it from you.
Are you aware that another one has done it?
I don't know.
That means no.
Don't rule it out.
Okay. Are you aware? You said you conducted your education in Europe under in Germany and in Europe using, in Germany a PhD, and in Europe as an Erasmus Mundus scholar, right?
Europe is not a country, come here.
The EU, you are in the EU.
The EU, but not everywhere in the EU.
Where were you?
I went to Lincoln, UK.
Mhm.
I went to Cordoba, Spain. I went to Portugal. Yeah,
So you were in the UK, Spain, Portugal, and Germany.
yes, that's true.
Are you aware of the organization called the European Network of Forensic Science Institutes, ENFSI?
I've read about it.
Are you aware? Huh? Are you aware of the European Institute called the European Network of Forensic Science Institutes?
I read about it.
That means yes.
Yes, I have read about it. I know about it.
And you are aware that that institute has not yet approved a testing method for organic country residue, right?
Come again?
You're aware that the method you used has not yet been approved by that, if there is no guideline of best practice developed by ENFSI for the method you used.
It's peer-reviewed literature. That guide.
Answer my question.
I'm not aware.
You're not aware of any guideline of best practice issued by ENFSI for country residue, right?
Which one?
Organic country residue. The method you used.
What is the question? Oh, yeah.
You're not aware that the method used to test and using the organic method
Yes, yes.
has not been.
As there is no best practice manual developed by the European Network of Forensic Science Institutes.
I don't know.
So you are asking whether it is backed by that institute.
Yes. And he doesn't know. You're also in Lincoln, UK.
Yes, I was.
You are aware of the forensic science regulator in the UK?
No.
Do you know, under the guidelines of forensic science in the UK, are you aware that even in jurisdictions where organic dietary residue tests are accepted, they only come to complement a test for lead barrier antibody, not to replace it?
I've seen some literature citing as is.
Saying what accept?
Yes, some.
Thank you. So, just to be clear, there is literature that says that a test of an organic country residue test complements and does not replace a test for lead barrier antibody, right?
By complementing, you mean?
That's what you said. I'm just getting your
Yes,
answer.
because what I know is that they are proposing alternatives to what you are saying, lead barrier
Yes, they're proposing addition,
alternatives.
complementary.
Alternatives.
Okay. So there's some proposal for complementary and some for addition.
If you want an explanation, I can give.
No, I want you to answer my question. Yes or no? My question is, are you aware that even where they allow you to test for organic gunshot residue, you must do it as a complementary test to a test for lead barrier antibody?
Now, yeah.
Okay.
What did you ask? You're not aware?
Is he aware that even where they allow a test for inorganic gunshot residue, for organic gunshot residue, it must be complementary to a test for lead barrier antibody? Now, can you also confirm that from your report we do not have any quantitative results?
Quantitative meaning?
How much gunpowder was found in whatever is found?
I mean, what do you mean by quantitative?
Quantity, how much was found?
How much was found?
Yes.
Certificate.
Right? So the answer is there's no quantitative analysis in this report.
In the report, it's not indicated. Thank you.
You can also confirm that your report does not attach any literature, any standard, or any study to it that shows you can use organic gunshot residue to replace a test for inorganic gunshot residue, right?
There's no reference to our reports.
There's no reference in your report.
Yes.
And you can confirm that all throughout your evidence, since you started giving your evidence in this matter, you have constantly made reference to what you call literature, right?
Yes, I have.
Which you have not attached or even cited.
As I have talked about it, you already asked me a question.
No. You haven't attached any literature or cited. Even in your evidence in chief, you spoke a lot
I
about
have not
literature.
attached.
No, my lord. Another interpretation.
ndagira ngo namanya department Giga, yes. Testinga ebipimo mu kkooti niyo eshoboye kuba ne laboratory eshoboye kuba ne checking ne testing ebintu ebipimo mu kkooti ndajja ngo nakimanya kuko ajja mutamumangu eyo eshoboye kuba nebikoraho then ekindi yagira ngu ntakumanya ngu ripoti ngo kashanga ngo harimu ng'amashasi then ekindi yagira ngu akaza omu UK yambuza amashomero ge yashomire yagira ngu akaza UK yaza Portugal yaza Spain yaza na Germany yambuza ngu arashomereho arahurireho institute ya European Institute something yagira ngo akagikuriraho nashaka akagishomaho then yambuza namanya naka institute y'ibyo gukora yagira ngo yambwira ngo ripoti ekukire yakozire agitiremu akanagamba institute kandi institute ku rugero uko yeyina ha website yayo tekabire gukora ebintu ebyagambireho mu ripoti ye then yambwira ngo omu ripoti ye taratiremu quantitative analysis what is it kinje enviro yes taratiremu enviro I think that's it.
Not gonna work. So I want us to spend just the next 3 minutes talking about organic gunshot residue. Go to page 2 of your report. That is yes. Just why don't give me indulgence trying to supply a copy. Yes, P45. That is. Now. You have it?
Are you referring to this one?
Yes.
Yes, I have it.
You have the photocopy or your copy?
I think I have.
Now, confirm. I think I already done the one to quote. You can mark this. What is inside? So on page 2
Yes.
of 2.
Yes.
Do you see the title Analytical Notes?
I see the title analytical notes paragraph 4.
And can you confirm that in that title you provide a table of what you call organic components of gunshot residues?
I confirm.
And again, there's no link to any study for this table, right?
What do you mean?
You don't have anywhere where you don't show us the source of this table.
It's not attached.
And you can confirm that this table contains 10 compounds that you call organic components of gunshot residue, right?
I confirm.
Sorry, I'm told my microphone has been off. But you've confirmed that the table contains 10 compounds that you describe as organic gunshot residue, right?
Yes, I confirm there are 10 compounds as organic components.
And according to this table, these 10 compounds have 4 uses, right? At the end of the table, there's something called use.
Use nature.
Use nature.
Yes.
So it's fair to say that these 10 compounds have 4 uses, right?
No, it's not the same.
It's fair to say that these 4 compounds have 4 use stroke nature.
No.
What do they have? What are these 4 things?
These are classes of compound. They're classed there.
Okay, so it's fair to say these 10 compounds have 4 classes.
Maybe that is similar, close to.
If it's not close to what is the
Because what Kansi is deriving to my note is that he's looking at the last column here, and he wants to categorize this compound based on the last column.
That's what you've done.
Yes.
Yes, that's what you've done.
If that's what you mean, that is it. The use nature, yes. What's the class name based on use nature?
So according to this table, the 10 compounds have 4 classes.
Classes in a gunshot residue. Use nature in gunshot residues.
So they have 4 uses.
They're
They
not
have 4
uses.
functions.
Use nature. Okay, what's the difference between use and use nature?
Because these compounds could be used somewhere else, for example.
So my question
Okay,
is,
if we say use, what would we be meaning? And what if we say use nature?
These compounds are in gunpowder, my lord.
You first explain use.
Yes,
Use we all know.
yes, my lord. In gunpowder, you find these substances.
Yes.
There, what's listed in the last column here is what they are put there for.
their use.
Why they are put in gunpowder
The
is
purpose.
yes, the purpose of putting them in
Okay, so
gunpowder.
can you just tell us what you
So
mean
those
by
are four classes of
Use
purpose.
purpose, let's say, for example, yes.
so? Can you just tell us why you use the term use nature? It's your term.
Yes, I used it because I think it made a description of what I wanted to change to put out.
So is it 1 word, 2 words?
You are looking at it, council.
Yes, tell us.
There are 2 words.
So use and nature.
Yes.
The manner of use, the way of using. Is
You
that-
might well use the purpose.
The manual.
Yes, the manual of using the gunpowder. That's it.
Would I be correct to say that these 10 compounds can be divided into these 4 groups?
Based on the use nature, you're right.
And you told us you conducted a targeted analysis. New evidence in chief, right?
I did.
That means you looked for these 10.
Look for these 10. Look for more than 10 because our method we developed, just like the publication I gave you, it has many other compounds. But when we are looking for gunshot residues, we are targeting these 10.
But you can confirm that a large amount of these 10 are not in the publication you're getting.
That's true.
So, the 4 uses, or the 4 groups, so to speak, are propellant, flash inhibitors, plasticizers, and stabilizers, right?
Stabilizers, right?
And you can confirm that that table represents your true, honest, represented, your true, honest, and complete opinion, right?
Comes to the question.
I'm using the words in your declaration. In your declaration you said, and I want to use the table specifically, that this table represents your true, honest, and complete professional opinion, right?
This table represents my professional opinion.
When you put this table in here, those are the facts that you had, and those facts you believe them to be true, and they represented your true, honest, complete professional opinion. Those are the words contained in the declaration.
Those words are in the declaration.
Does the declaration apply to this table?
Yes, it does apply to this table.
So, let's translate.
Kaso yatwala afande aha table eyo report ye yakoze yangira ngo namanya utarataro ekire taglorage. It did not show ali yahire naka ebyatiro nako mu table yagira ngo yangira compounds of gunshot residue. 10 compounds of gunshot residue. Anyway, ekikwerekayo yagira ngo ebintu byona ebiri omu ripooti namanya ngu bishikire oku yabitiremu kandi byona nabikiriza ngu bagakora bishikire.
Yeah. Okay. So your list number 1. We identify a compound called nitroglycerin, right?
That's true.
It's a
Bring in the
abbreviated
table.
NG.
You can find the table.
Yes.
Yes, that's true.
I'm starting from up.
That's serial number 1.
I want you just know I'm going to cross-examine you on all 4.
Okay.
So I'm starting with propellant.
Yes,
We identify something called nitroglycerin, right?
that's true.
In your evidence in chief, you admitted that you had left out another compound, right? Erroneously.
Did I say erroneous?
So, did you leave it out intentionally?
No, it's not left out intentionally.
So it was left out erroneously.
Not erroneous.
Okay, you left out another compound.
Yes.
And you tell us what that compound is.
Nitrocellulose.
cellulose.
C-E-double-L-S.
CELL. U.
U-N-O-S-E. In nitric acid.
Pardon?
Nitro then what we have just read.
So nitrocellulose. So the propellant actually has two compounds,
That's true.
nitroglycerin and nitrocellulose.
That's true.
And in fact, in evidence in chief, you claim that nitrocellulose was even seen in the target compound.
That's not me. That's not what I say.
What did you say?
What I say is that nitrophenylamine was detected as a vector product of nitrocellulose.
You said that nitro,
Phenylamine.
please spell that.
NPA, my lord, it is spelled on page 1. In page 1, number 3. In the table, number 3. Under D5. It's called nitrophenylamine. That is here. Page 1. Let's just two pages. Item 3, that's how it's spelled. So when you left out
Say that nitro, phenylamine was left out. Is that what you said?
Council asked me
Yes.
why I left out the substance in the table here.
Mhm.
He asked me the substance, I said it was nitrocellulose.
Yes.
And then he asked me that during my examination, I said that I had found nitrocellulose. I said no. Then he said, what did you say? I took him to this point. But I told him that I saw phenylamine, which is a vector product of nitrocellulose.
Which is
Are you with us?
Yes, I'm with you.
So you left nitrocellulose out of the propellant.
It's not indicated in the table.
And you are saying this was intentional.
Yes.
Why is it intentional?
Because you cannot see nitrocellulose in the LCMS.
You cannot see nitrocellulose
In the
in the
LCMS.
LCMS system.
Yes.
And is that indicated anywhere in your report?
That
That you cannot see nitrocellulose in the LCMS system.
is not indicated.
All you did is you left it out.
I left it out, yes.
Because it looks to me that after you wrote your report and submitted it, you then discovered a new compound.
Which one is that?
Nitrocellulose.
I knew about it.
You knew about it by the time you were writing your report.
I knew
You
about
just deliberately left it out.
I knew about it long before I wrote my report.
And you just deliberately left it out of your report.
Yes.
Thank you. So, the propellant actually contains nitroglycerin and nitrocellulose, right?
If it's single base or double base.
Very good. I wanted to do a demonstration. So there's double base. If I have two compounds,
Yes.
double base is
Double base.
nitroglycerin and nitrocellulose.
Yes.
Single base is nitrocellulose alone.
It could be nitrocellulose, could be one of them.
Can nitroglycerin exist in a single phase propeller?
I don't know, I'm not a gun expert, so this one I don't know how much I am expert on it.
This is not a gun expertise.
What is it?
Confirm.
Yes.
I'm going to suggest to you
Yes.
that a double base, yeah, is nitroglycerin and nitrocellulose.
That I have seen in the picture.
And a single base is nitrocellulose alone.
That's what I have seen, but I cannot confirm whether it's from the cellulose or not.
Okay, let me put it like this. Is nitroglycerin a liquid?
Depends on the form it's the being administered to.
Is it a liquid?
The liquid,
Are you aware that nitroglycerin is a highly explosive liquid used in bombs?
yes, I'm aware.
Are you aware?
It's
Are you aware that it only becomes gunpowder when connected with nitrocellulose?
only becomes
It only becomes a double base propellant when it's connected with nitrocellulose that can solidify it. You're not aware it's okay.
I'm not aware.
So what I want to suggest to you is you need to go back to the literature and read about propellants. On its own, nitroglycerin cannot be a propellant.
Okay?
And your machine cannot identify the one compound that is a primary requirement of a propellant.
That's not true.
It is your evidence here
Yes.
that your machine cannot identify nitrocellulose.
Yes.
And I am putting it to you that if the minimum criteria for saying something is a propellant is the presence of nitrocellulose.
And the cellulose was detected in this as its derivative was detected in this
I am
analysis.
coming here. No, we'll come to the derivative.
Okay?
I'm here first. That nitroglycerin on its own cannot be a propellant without the presence of nitrocellulose.
Okay?
Okay? Now,
But this one is never
what's the answer? I think
I'm not sure.
I don't know if there are
I'm
other
not
questions
sure.
are coming.
I'm not sure.
No, please don't change your answer depending on what
I'm
you
not changing
think
my answer.
from a secretary position.
I'm not changing my answer.
You're not sure if nitroglycerin
Can exist.
can exist without nitrocellulose as a propellant.
That one I'm not sure.
We will check the literature.
If it's relevant, I'll take it. If it's not relevant, I won't.
And I think it's left. Okay. So, now, next you have flash inhibitors, right?
Yes, yeah.
If I can just finish nitroglycerin, just read 4B. 4B.
Copy that register and decide is used in explosive industry. Has medical applications as an angina and angina vaccination agent.
So nitroglycerin has use in the explosive industry and the pharmaceutical industry, right?
Yes, that's true.
In the making of bombs. Now let's go to flash inhibitors.
And then,
You list how many? You list 3, right?
that's the toluenes.
Huh?
Yes, there are 3 toluenes here.
Toluenes, that's the last one.
Yes.
So that's 2,3 dimethyl, those ones. Just confirm you didn't find any in this case.
I didn't.
Let's go to the next one, which was plasticizers.
Yes.
You list 3 plasticizers, abbreviated MF, EF, and BF, right?
You're right.
Confirm you didn't find any in this case.
I did not find plasticizers.
Maybe my logic can translate.
Prepare the translation of the word plasticizer.
Anyway, kiriyo kigenda omwisho kansale nabuuza afande obujulizi okuba atungiremu amasasi atubihire omundu okuba agacebire okuba atucebire n'okuba atungire obujulizi obwaleetera omu kooti nibyo ariyo namubuuza yabaratere ebi abikoreiremu ahabwenki ebimwe yabisigireyo ahabwenki akabisigayo nahabwenki ariyo namushoboorera ebintu byine technicalities tikubaasa kushoboora.
And then the last item is the stabilizers, right?
Yes, you're right.
And you list 3 stabilizers, abbreviated as DPA, MC, and EC.
That's true.
Just confirm you did not find EC and MC in this case.
I did not.
On DPA, you have a footnote. Confirm you have a footnote on DPA.
There is a footnote.
Mark number 1. Yes?
That's true.
And confirm the footnote says that has, I take it that means DPA has, right? You answer.
That's true.
DPA has breakdown products, stock derivatives, including 2N DPA, 4N DPA, NN DPA, and 4-nitrosol DPA, right?
Right.
What's in the table down there? Here. Now, you will agree with me you'll agree with me that DPA is a specific chemical compound, right?
As in how? What do you mean?
It's specific, it's DPA, it's unique, it's called DPA. It's a specific chemical compound called DPA. I want to use the abbreviation, diphenylamine.
Diphenylamine, yes.
There's a specific chemical compound, right?
Called diphenylamine.
Yes.
Yes, that's true.
And it has a known stable molecular structure.
What do you mean, stable?
It has a known molecular structure. It has a known molecular structure. Yes or no?
Chemical structure, you mean?
Yes, that's a known chemical structure.
That's true.
And NNDPA, these compounds here. 2 NDPA, 4 NDPA, NDPA, and 4 nitroso DPA are all compounds that begin with DPA but have been chemically modified, right?
That's true.
And once the structure changes, it becomes a new compound with a different chemical and physical properties.
What do you mean?
Let me put it like this. NNDPA is a chemically distinct substance from DPA.
Chemically distinct as in how?
It has its own chemical structure.
Yes, that's true.
So it's different from DPA.
That's true. You mean by chemical structure?
Yes, it's different from
By
DPA.
chemical structure is different.
In fact, the same applies to 2 NDPA, 4 NDPA, and 4 nitroso DPA.
Yes, the chemical structure is different from DPA.
In fact, although they are derived from DPA, they are separate compounds.
Come here.
Although their parent is DPA, they are different from their parent.
Explain how.
I'm asking you.
They are structurally, they have different structures, if that's what you mean.
So they are different.
Can they be said to be separate compounds? Can they be said to be separate compounds?
Compounds can have the same molecular weight, but different structures.
Can they be said to be different
Explain to
compounds?
both.
Yes. That
Although they are derived from DPA, they have separate.
they have separate chemical structures, but their chemistry is the same.
What's the difference between chemistry and chemical structure?
Yes, my lord. If this thing is made from wood, and this table is made from wood, they are all wood, but they're not of the same shape. The other one is the chemical structure, but if you look at the wood where it's made from, the chemistry of wood is the same.
So if you put 2 NDPA, 4 NDPA, and the other DPAs, you compare them with DPA, you'll find that they are separate compounds, but they have the same chemical structure.
They will be structure related, but modified just by chance of it.
They'll be different.
Yes, they will be structurally different.
So they're not the same.
Same as in what parameter.
As
How are
DPA.
they related?
How they are related is that they come from DPA.
How are they different?
How they are different is that their nitro groups have been added to them. So
Nitro?
nitro groups, so you have DPA and then you attach the nitro groups. That's how you form the 2A at position 2 or position 4.
Nitro groups.
Nitro groups, yes.
Nitrates.
Nitro groups.
So how then different do they become?
So the only difference is like if you look at the structure of DPA, something else has been added on. The nitro group has been added to DPA.
To form one thing.
15.
2 NDPA.
Yes.
So to form a different thing. Because DPA doesn't have the nitro group.
But when you talk about chemical structure similarity, they are structurally similar. But if you say they are different substances, have different chemical structures, then you are spot on. They are structurally similar.
So to DPA you add a nitro group to get the derivatives.
Get the derivatives, yes, that's my logic.
required to take courses in chemistry.
So let me put it like this. Your lab identifies each of these items by their specific names because each of them has a specific chemical fingerprint.
That is true.
And because they have different structures, they behave differently when you test them.
Testing where?
In your lab. That's why you're able to tell me this is 20 dpa, this is 20 dpa, because their behavior cannot be the same.
The transitions are different, and the rotation times are different.
So they behave differently when tested.
Their transitions are different, and the rotation times are different.
You see, Dr. Chisito, my question was, they behave differently when tested. Retention time is your method in chromatography testing, correct? So they behave differently when tested.
So you said the transitions
And retention time, the RT. I know that's the method of chromatography testing, right? So my question is, they behave differently when tested.
Tested where?
Using your instruments.
Tested with which one? If you're testing them by chromatography, they will be different. They have different rotation times.
I'm asking you about your lab.
Our lab does many things. Which one I talked about?
What you did here.
Chromatography, you mean?
You're telling us that the retention time will be different, right?
Yes, with chromatography.
That retention time that you're talking about is part of your liquid chromatography test, right?
That's true.
So, my question to you, when you test them, they behave differently. Your answer, they have different retention times. When I tested them in my liquid chromatography, please assist this court with clear and straight answers. What we are trying to do here is a noble job. Do not be evasive.
I ask counsel when you ask a question, give it a specific question. You ask me if you test them in the lab. Testing with what? You tell me if you test them in chromatography, are they behaving the same? I'll give you an
Okay,
answer.
let me ask you. Your instruments identify each compound separately based on their unique chemical structure, correct?
Yes.
These instruments identify each of those compounds separately based on those compounds' unique chemical signature. And the answer was yes.
Yes.
So even if they all come from DPA, when you test them, you don't say DPA stroke DPA derivative. You name the specific compound, right?
I'm clear?
Even if they all come from DPA, when you test them, yeah, you identify the specific compound. You don't say DPA derivative. You mention the specific compound because it has a different chemical
That's
signature,
true.
right? So, NNDPA, 2NDPA, 4-nitroso-DPA are not the same substance.
They are isomers.
Yeah, answer my question. Are they the same? Or are they chemically different?
They are structurally similar, but they have different chemical structures.
they are structurally similar.
Yes, but they have different chemical structures. Structurally similar.
Okay, let me put it another way.
Structurally similar.
They have different chemical structures.
They are structurally similar, but they have different chemical structure.
Yes.
So which structure is similar?
What's
What's the difference from structure and chemical structure?
If you got EPA and you compare it with one of its derivatives, they give you a structural similarity of 90% similarity.
So DPA,
Because it means,
let's first capture that DPA and its derivatives,
yes, are structurally similar.
when tested, have a structural similarity of 90%.
So the answer to my question was, the presence of one does not prove the presence of the other, right?
presence of what?
Of 2 NDPA, 4 NDPA doesn't prove the presence of the other. If you find 2 NDPA, you can't say I found here 4 NDPA.
Find 2 NDPA, you cannot say you found 4 NDPA. That's true.
The presence of one does not mean the presence of the other.
So the presence of one derivative.
Yes, even with DPA itself.
I'm not direct.
The presence of one of these are chemically different items. They have different chemical tests. So you test for these. You cannot find 4 nitroso DPA and say I found 2 NDPA.
Yes, that's true.
In fact, you can't even find 4 nitroso DPA and you say I found DPA.
Yeah, that's true. They are different.
If you find DPA, you cannot say you found any of the derivatives.
If you find DPA in the mass spec, you see it as DPA. And if you find this derivative, you see it as a derivative of DPA.
So you can't say you're testing for DPA and you get a result including the derivative.
Maybe I don't know how you put it. If you find a mass spec for DPA, you will have a fingerprint for DPA. If you find a mass spectrogram for 12 DPA, you will have a unique fingerprint for that compound.
So the answer is yes.
Yes,
You can't find 2 NDPA and say you have found DPA.
that's true.
In fact, if you find 4 NDPA and DPA, or 4 NDPA and whatever other derivative, that's not a forensic match.
If you found
If you find on one item 4 NDPA, on another item you find DPA or 2 NDPA, that's not a forensic match.
on a different item in the same environment originating from the same source, different
Once you find 4 NDPA and 2 NDPA, that's not a forensic match. Those are two
Let me
different
get your
things.
question right. Right.
Yes.
If you found 4 NDPA here and you found DPA at the gate, that's the question.
No.
What's
My
your
question, you're testing different items.
Yes.
You're testing 12 swabs.
Yes.
In one of them you find 2 NDPA. In another you find DPA. In another you find 4 NDPA. There is no forensic match between the three of them.
That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm putting to you. Are they within the same vicinity or different vicinities?
In your lab,
In our lab, how?
you have blind samples.
If you have blind samples,
So, in your blind samples, are you finding a forensic? What I'm saying is, if I test here and I find 2 NDPA, and I test here and I find 2 NDPA, I can say they match. They are both 2 NDPA. If I test here I find 2 NDPA, and I find here DPA, I can say they don't. There is no exact forensic match.
forensic match, because the interpretation of DPA is you have to find DPA and one of its derivatives.
So whenever you find DPA,
You must find the
you must
derivative.
find the derivative.
Yes.
And if you don't find a derivative, what does that mean?
Well, it's not, does not give you a correct fingerprint for kind of residue.
Thank you. So I want you to look at page 1,
And there,
M3.
true.
You find DPA.
That's true.
With no other derivative.
That's true.
So it's not done to residue.
If it's not, if you find DPA alone, plus nitroglycerin divided with the nitro group, then the combination of DPA.
No.
Yes.
You found here MG and DPA.
Yes.
Yeah?
Well, okay.
My lord, we are on item number 9. He has M3. He has MG and DPA. So you have found DPA without finding one of its nitro groups, and you said that's not gunpowder, right?
So, that's true.
Thank you. Let's move. Now, I just want you to get,
On 9,
yes, M3.
yes,
It has nitroglycerin and diphenylamine.
yes.
So he says if you find DPA but you don't find one of its nitro groups, that is not gunpowder. Now I want you to go to Police Form 17A.
I don't have it.
Okay, the other report,
Which one?
the ballistics report.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's tell us what M3 is.
Under B, introduction 1, that's under B. Actually, exhibit described below were submitted to the laboratory for examination by AIC or Emmanuel on the 5th of November 2023. Plate number 3, M2 and M3 are right-hand swaps from all.
So M3, right-hand swab of Mole. M3 is not gunshot residue. Look at M2. Read what M2 is. The results in your table.
M2 target not detected.
So on Mole's right hand is no gunpowder. I want us now to keep
What
moving.
was M3 and M2?
M2 and M3.
Your first.
Apologies.
On M2, you also look fine.
On M2 target substance is not detected.
So maybe if Mrs. Katanga could just wave her right hand at us and we see the one which was not involved. Yes, I think she can hear.
That's the
The right hand. Right hand. Thank you. No gunshot residue. I want us now to move to maybe we translate.
The interpreter might not return.
No time. I think that
So when they sound the same, they are apart from
So tomorrow we will look for
in this case, we should because we are supposed to do what to do with her. But she's been doing quite well for the young person that from Joro. Our mind is following.
the thing is, Steve is checking.
We understand.
It goes very fast. It goes very fast.
That's the same. The interpreter says you're going very fast.
No, because he prolongs it seconds.
My lord, that's what we are saying. To be fair, but it's up to him. It's his client. Even if the rules change, that kind of shame, we find it very difficult.
Manner which is what interprets sedentary arguments.
Right. This one is going to interpret
Ekikulu balina babuuza kuyatwire amasasi agitwihire omumbundu na nembundu twabirira kukyebera omu laboratory ebyo bashangiremu nibiha kandi kukwatana neshaga bibere ahamore Katanga ebimwe bagira ngo bimwe bitakukwatana ebindi bantu ebindi bigumire
My lord said that the translation is difficult. I'm unable to translate.
So
But we proceed. I will. We shall find a way. Now, you also testified in evidence in chief that the DPA derivatives could not be transferred. These are the derivatives you listed, except through gunshot residue.
Come again.
In evidence in chief, you say that these DPA derivatives are unique to gunshot residue.
Yes, that's it.
You even claimed that there was no study on Earth which showed how these derivatives would move to people's hands.
I see that.
I remember you saying that you might distinguish.
What he said was that population study was done, which indicated that with the sample taken of people moving around, there was no indication that GPAs or derivatives could casually move. For instance, if someone has used lotion or
Yes.
applied perfume, that is what he said.
Yes, even that's from Lush Cosmetics. Then for gloves, he said they have to be heated at 65 degrees and they can burn your
Yeah, he said for GPA, the oil derivatives from a glove to a hand
Yes.
must be subjected to intense temperature
And that-
of at least 65 degrees Celsius.
and that finding it is, therefore, these derivatives, finding them will make it unique to the Hampshire test. That's what you said.
Come clear.
Did you say that finding these derivatives of GPA means that they are unique to country based?
Yes, I see.
Now, I want to you said also that studies have not shown you can detect GPA derivatives from a sampled population. You said that?
I cannot detect it.
Sample study,
Yes. Yes.
population,
Yes.
from a population study.
Yes.
So I want to give you a study. You mind? I want to give you a paper by an organization called Interpol. Where's the paper? You know what Interpol is, right?
My lord, can you have a copy?
Yes, yes. I'm giving you a copy. I'm giving you a copy. Right now, right now, right now. You need to
ask
see it.
it as before.
Yes, 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 yes. You have that paper? I'm getting Mr. Morgan and his copy shortly. Yeah. Okay. Remember, I'm sorry, my phone. So,
Because our mix.
This one has limits.
Give it to yeah, but try to run each other on mix. This will be good. When you put it on mix, you get it. You can see trying to make it.
Let him get his compare.
It's the same thing.
Let them get complete, but it's the same.
maybe we can translate. You know what Interpol is?
I do.
Uganda police is part of Interpol.
I have a directive of Interpol.
Uganda police part of Interpol.
We have a directive of Interpol. Police.
Is Uganda, is a member of that body?
I would feel yes, my lord, I think it's been noted.
So Uganda police is part of it.
Yes.
That's it.
Okay. Just confirm that
Uganda
that
police is a
study.
member. It's like saying you got United Nations. Uganda a member.
My lord, I think we've made progress in the answer. Let us move.
Okay, Uganda police is a member. How is Interpol arranged? Is it a
Interpol
membership?
police is a directorate.
What about, what does Interpol stand for?
International police.
Does it have a body, or international body?
Yes, this my lord.
So how do countries become affiliated?
This I don't know, my lord.
Okay, so now, Interpol, that document is titled what?
Interpol review on country residues 2019-2021.
And what is the document? It's a Forensic Science International Journal, right?
Yes.
Is that one of the peer-reviewed journals you're aware of?
Yes.
And the authors are? Who are the authors?
Sebastian Charles, Alia Wiesel, and Bartnis.
And that study became available when?
It was published 2023.
Okay. Just read for us the first paragraph.
This review paper covers advances in scientific methods applied to gunshot residue. Okay.
What does it do?
This review paper covers advances in scientific methods applied to gunshot residues reported since the 18th Interpol Forensic Science Symposium in October 2019. Since the 18th Interpol Forensic Science Symposium in October 2019.
And continue.
Literature search was conducted.
Literature search was
Conducted.
conducted.
Covering articles
Covering articles
published in the main analytical and forensic journals in 2019, 2020, and 2021.
Okay, continue.
The terms searched in the titles, some searched in the titles, abstracts, and keywords were GSR.
The terms search were gunshot residue.
GSR,
Mm-hmm.
gunshot residue,
Mm-hmm.
shooting distance,
Muzzle to target.
firing distance, and muzzle to target distance.
Okay, continue.
A total of 137 articles were identified, of which 101 were selected for inclusion in this review.
So Interpol has identified a total of 137 articles on gunshot residue and placed them in this review, right?
Of how many?
137 articles.
Were identified,
And 101
were selected.
and put in this review, right?
That's true.
So this can be called a comprehensive literature review on gunshot residue.
If you want it to be. Because they've selected out, I don't know what's the inclusion and exclusion criteria.
Do you see the other part that's highlighted?
Yes, I can see it.
Read
Read
it.
on the
It's on page 1.
Spanish.
Yes. Maybe you can tell us the paragraph so that I know my landlord is preparing an objection.
I think it is the second paragraph. This is 1, this is 2.
Yes, read what's highlighted in that paragraph.
So it comes from somewhere in this prospectus. It is interesting to note that there are still some issues to the analysis of ODSR in the context of expertise, explaining the still very limited number of laboratories that offer this type of analysis. It is often confined to academic and university research.
So that means that in this respect, it is interesting to note that there are still some issues in the analysis of organic gunshot residue in the context of expertise, explaining the still very limited number of laboratories that offer this type of analysis, which is often confined to academic and university research, right?
That's what is here.
That's your method you use.
That's what is here.
It's talking about the method you use, right?
About the method I use.
Yes, organic gunshot residue.
Yes, yes, organic.
Okay? Go to page 7.
Yes, there are two highlighted portions here.
One is under the
Kind of look here. There is this one, there is this one.
where I want the one which is under the prevalence and contamination studies.
Yes, it's the one down there.
Yes, read it.
That's on page one.
Page 7.
Seven. The prevalence of OGSR. The prevalence of OGSR was examined.
The prevalence of OGSR, which stands for organic gunshot residue, right?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Was examined by Magnelli et al.
Manganese.
Manganelli et al. In two target populations, namely the general population and the police.
The prevalence of OGSR was examined by Manganelli et al. In two target populations, namely the general population and police officers, right?
Yes, it's written here.
And then what does he say?
The technique used was also LCMS.
That's the one you use,
We use LCMS
okay?
with 8 OGSR compounds. Yes.
So they examined civilian and police populations,
Yes.
looked at 8 OGSR compounds, and used a liquid chromatography mass spectrometry method.
Yes.
Okay, so UP LCMS is actually, the LCMS is liquid chromatography mass spectrometry.
That's true.
What does the UP stand for?
Ultra high pressure.
Ultra high pressure. Okay? Continue.
Where there's
This technique showed,
in contrast, that's where
okay,
the contrast with similar studies with IGSR, which ultimately showed no relative prevalence of this type of particle in the civilian population.
so just up there, that means that an IGSR studies were done and they showed little prevalence of IGSR in the population, right?
Showed no on very limited.
No or very little prevalence of lead, barium, and nitrogen, IGSR, right?
I'm reading what is here.
Yes, but you also, yeah.
Showed no or very limited prevalence of this type of particle in the civilian population.
That is IGSR.
Yes, I think it defines IGSR.
Continue.
The prevalence of OGSR in this population is considered to be significant in almost 18% of individuals for which this one target compound was detected in their hands.
So just you can stop there. For organic gunshot residue, the prevalence of the compounds are significant. 18% of the people have at least one compound on their hands.
That's what is here.
Okay. So I want to suggest to you that these compounds in this case,
Hey, which compound are you talking about?
let us look
Are
at
they
that.
in the table? Are they referenced anywhere?
What's the name of the study? Give us the name of the study.
Which
That's
compound are we
highlighted.
talking about?
No. The study that's highlighted that you read. Isn't there a footnote? The Manganelli et al.
Manganelli et al. is 69 here.
So what is it?
Surveys of organic gunshot residue prevalence comparison between civilian and police populations in the sense
I want to give it to you.
that
I want to give it to Mr. Mokane as well. I want to give it to you. So is that the study? The one I've given, is it a study referenced by Interpol?
study.
It is a study reference by Interpol. Also in an internationally peer-reviewed journal, right?
The same journal.
Which is international peer-reviewed, right?
Okay, Father, the same journal.
Okay. Read the abstract of the study.
We study now.
The Manganelli one. We have moved from Interpol, now we are going to
I read this one now.
Yeah, you can put it there.
The abstract here.
Yeah.
This study investigated the prevalence of 8 OGSR compounds in the civilian and police population. Specimens were collected from the hands and sleeves of 122 civilians and 115 individuals working in police services using coupled stabs. Data was acquired using liquid chromatography coupled to random mass spectrometry.
That's the method you use.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
These are indicated in non-negligible prevalence in the civilian sample.
The sample in the civilian population was not negligible.
Non-negligible, yes.
It's not negligible. Uh-huh.
18%.
18% of the
120 civilian samples, having one or more OGS-rated compounds in their hands, and 11.5 on their wrists.
Okay, you can stop there, the civilians. You don't have to go into the police.
Can we see these compounds are?
Go to page 50. Table 2. Can you read the compounds?
Acadite,
Acadite,
beta-centralite, N-diaphenyl formamide, beta-centralite.
So just hold on. These ones are in your table, right?
Which one?
These ones.
What's in my table here is MC.
Let me see. So we have here Acadite 2. We have something called MC. It's in your table. Yeah?
MC is in my table, yes.
We have NNDPF, right?
That's not in my table.
It's in your table. We have EC.
This is in my table.
We have 2 NDPA.
That's in my table.
We have 4 nitro-DPA. 4 NNDPA.
That is in my table.
We have DPA.
That's in my table.
And we have nitroso-DPA.
That's true.
Now, so it's correct that this study includes DPA and the derivatives in your table.
That's true.
Go to the conclusions at page 55.
Which part do you want to read?
But before we even do that, 18% means on average 1 in 5 people has those compounds on their hands
15% of what?
of the civilian population.
1 in 5 people.
Yeah, average. Like now, the assessors and ourselves here, there's DPA here. That's what that study means.
But maybe that's what the study means.
Yeah, now, page 55.
Page 50.
Page 55, conclusion. I want you to read, maybe, sorry. Maybe we can be translated. We're going to get to the part 2.
Yamuzayana ekitweka polisi kibakweta Interpol, that is international police. Ekigambo nakimanya yamuzayana nekitweka ha police, ekigambo nekitweka ha police. Na yamubuuza ngu ekyandiko ekya Interpol ekyahandikire kuyabeera akora testi ziyakolera ha mpundu n'amasasi. Ripoti ye akagiha kukyandiko keberi mu ripoti y'ekitongole kya Interpol yandira ngwegwero yamutwara n'agaha aha ripoti mu ripoti omunda yamubuuza ebicweka bye babantu bashobora akubuuza ebingi ebiri mu ripoti ya polisi eri ya Interpol akaruta mu ripoti bayana nagamba harateko eri mu ripoti hateko eri mu ripoti ya Interpol polisi kugira ngo ebingi birimu ebingi tubirimu ebikukira bingi birimu.
Okay, now, what I wanted to show you was on page 56. Page 55 is conclusion. We go to page 56. Page 56.
Page
6. Now, on page 56,
just a minute. I am there.
on page 56, see the last paragraph further.
Yes.
Before that paragraph, there is a line from. You see it? So it is
9.
count 7 lines from the last paragraph.
What 7 years it appears?
Huh?
The last paragraph.
The last paragraph says further. So you count the word detected, the word on, the word environment, the word supports, the word are, the word compounds, the word is, then from. This is the sentence that starts from.
So inside here.
Yes.
Yes.
Read it.
From the present results.
From the present results,
It appears
it appears
that
uh-huh,
there is an important prevalence
there is an important prevalence
of single compound.
single compound. Continue.
The simultaneous detection of two compounds
The simultaneous detection of two compounds
shows
shows
a lower prevalence
a lower prevalence. And
and the detection of three
the detection of 3 or more
compounds
compounds
supports the hypothesis
uh-huh,
firearm origin
rather than an
and
environmental source.
environmental source.
So that means, from my understanding, you can correct me, that where you find one compound, that is common. Where you find 2 compounds, confirm. That means where you find 1 compound, that is common.
According to these orders,
Yes, where you find 1 compound, that's common.
where you find one compound,
That is common. Where you find 2 compounds, that's less common. And where you find 3 compounds, that supports the hypothesis of a firearms discharge.
Yes.
Now, using this study sent us to look for, kindly go back to your report. Let's go to page 1.
Yes. On page 1.
Yeah. You have page 1.
Yes.
I want us to go through these items to see whether we found 3 or 2 or 1. Using the Manganelli criteria, 3 is indicative of firearm discharge, 2 are not, 1 is absolutely not.
But my lord, what council did not spell out is what the target population was. So the population here, if you go to paragraph 2, materials and methods, just take it there.
What's the population of Switzerland?
You take it there, find it.
Mention what you say.
Yes. Specimens are created from 2 populations. The first one is the so-called civilian population composed of 1 and 2. We are not even sure. So-called 1 and 2 volunteers with no unlimited access.
No limited access to what?
Contact with firearms.
So the study was taken from 122 people with no or limited access to firearms.
That means they have contact with firearms.
They have no or limited contact.
Have contact with firearms.
I want us now to use that conclusion. You shall have the debate with the authors later.
No, because
Because you see what you told us.
This has to be interpreted
What
in tandem, because we are picking sections.
Doctor, that's all. Stop panicking.
Panicking.
Let me just relax.
No, you're telling me.
I want to ask you a question. I want you to answer. I want you to
Let's be alright. You see, council is what needs to understand. This is a highly technical area. If the witness is giving clarity, let's give him an opportunity. But also your question must be answered.
My Lord, the witness has told us that this is a population of 122 people with no or limited access to firearms.
This is one. The first one is a so-called civilian population.
Yes.
What does it mean to you? If someone says the first one is a civilian population, and someone says the so-called civilian population, what does it mean to you? This study was conducted on people who were handling firearms.
It was for me it means that population was labeled. Was labeled.
I bet that's what you say. Because otherwise, we shall say the first population is the civilian population.
See,
But here it says, I don't know whether it's given
Yes, we shall have a fine definition of that.
Because you are jumping here and there, and you're not feeding me the international.
No. So your objection is that the civilian population was called so-called. Okay,
There are
so,
objections on this.
so-
One.
so,
One.
uh-huh.
One.
One.
The so-called civilian population.
Mhm. Where is that?
It is in under paragraph 2, materials and methods.
Materials and methods.
Let's go there.
Uh-huh.
So the so-called civilian population, 122 volunteers, with no limited contact with firearms. What criteria did they use to assess? No, this is what we do when we're criticizing the literature. You don't just pick it and then use
so
it.
you continue reading.
Yes, because those are two objections I have. The so-called civilian population. And then these no or no, there are no or limited contacts. I don't know how to quantify limited in this context, but that's it, and that's what I wanted to talk about. Can go to where I want to be. Proceed to where I want to be. Which page?
So now you have expressed yourself.
Yes, I have.
Thank you. And your objection is the word so-called. Now let's use Manganelli's conclusions to go back to your table.
But Manganelli conclusion is what I'm contesting.
But Manganelli was good enough to enter Interpol.
You
You told us.
To answer that question,
Yes.
then there will be clarification
Okay.
in rates and
You just see a study and you don't like the results. Okay.
that's why I don't want to say that you borrowed some, but really.
Just
Just let the matter lie.
Yes. Exactly.
Manganelli formula.
Yes.
Test items and findings, table 3. Can you confirm on page 1?
You'll be kind enough to avail photocopy of that.
Yes.
Notes.
Yes, I will. My Lord, I will, but we shall have that debate. I know they'll object. My Lord, we shall have that debate after.
But I need to follow and read.
Yes. My Lord, this debate was really hard in this very case. When the pathologist was here, we subjected him to the same peer review journals, and no land brother rule, as long as you're referring to scientific authorities, you must supply them to
Because now,
Is that good?
I need to read the whole document.
And I will certainly provide it, my Lord. But now, Manganelli formula, 1, 2, 3. 3 shows
So
this
where are
much
we?
on his report now.
Page 1 of P45.
Yes, page 1 of page 45. Just confirm that the only item here that has 3 compounds is D5.
D5 has 3 compounds.
Yes. It's the only one. We can start from up. D3 has 1.
D3 has 2 compounds.
D3 has how many compounds?
2 compounds.
E3 has two compounds. Just slow down. E3 has two compounds.
Yes.
D4 has one.
D4 has one, yes.
And according to Manganelli, very common.
Well, there's a problem with manganese, but let's go by it.
Yes, let's go by it. We shall give you others.
Yes.
Don't worry, we have others.
Let's bring them.
D5.
D5 here has 3.
3.
Yes.
Do you know what D5 was? Go to the ballistics report we see, because this is indicative of the gun. Someone here used the gun. What was D5?
D5 talking to plates number 8. D5 swaps from the muzzle or potential residue exhibit 4.
And exhibit 4 was the pistol. So D4 is a swab of the gun, so the gun has gunpowder. Very good.
D5 here in the ballistics report is indicated as swap from the muzzle or potential residue.
So the muzzle is the mouth of the gun, right?
Yes.
So OC1 has nothing.
OC1 target substance not detected.
OC2 nothing.
Target substance not detected.
KP1.
KP1 has
KP has 1.
NNDPS.
And according to Manganelli, fairly common. M1 has 1. Fairly common. M2 you already told us is not gunshot residue. M2, okay, M2 has none. Let's be clear.
Target not detected.
So M2 has none. M2 is more like Katanga's right hand. M3,
M3 has nitroglycerin and phenylalanine.
and you already explained to us how this is not gunshot residue. 10-1
Has nitroso.
has 1. So according to Manganelli, this is common. And CS1, CS2.
Targets not detected.
Now just to be clear, CS1 and CS2, are those your swaps?
Which stops?
Yours?
9.
Yes.
These are submitted along with this.
So go to the ballistics report and read for us what CS1 and CS2 are.
Where is that? Page?
Page 2.
Page 2, where exactly?
The second part of page 2.
An explanation request?
Above it.
Above it is I can see KP, OC1 and OC2.
And then the next one.
OC1, OC2 and then explanation request.
Can I come there and show you?
Please come.
Can you tell us what those are?
Under chemical analysis, that is 3D. That is 3D chemical analysis. 3D control swab CS1 and CS2 obtained by swabbing the hands of the examiner on the work surface respectively prior to obtaining samples gunshot residue analysis.
So that's not you.
Obviously,
So you yourself, you are not swabbed. Nor was Isoba. Isoba also wasn't swabbed.
no, it's not.
The technician also wasn't swabbed. And your work surfaces also were not swabbed.
All surface is very surface.
Yeah. So CS1 and CS2 is nothing to do with it.
That's nothing.
Now, okay, I want us to go to another area. Another area, still to do with these studies.
Okay.
But I want us to discuss now liquid chromatograph mass spectrometry.
Okay.
Maybe, my lord, we could start with first putting in those Interpol study and we could provide them to court. Yeah. Yeah. Court. Which can interpret.
Yanambuza on report ya police Interpol. Yeah, on report ya Interpol ebibegiremu nasho ebibakozese kuza kuchebera kuganga w'embungu na n'abantu abachebire yambuza ngu SC1 and SC2 tubera ryo muri we yagira ngo kabe umugenzi we naho bakorire nasho murabara ryo mu tubarahacebye na
Okay, so confirm you already said that you used the LCMS, which is liquid chromatographic tandem mass spectrometry, LCMS/MS.
Yes, I did.
And all that means is the tandem means you're doing them in tandem. That's why it's MS/MS. While it's only mass spectrometry, you do mass spectrometry in tandem with each other. Is that a correct understanding?
It's twisted, but I'll give you. Tandem means that you have two co-reports attached.
Of mass spectrometry. So it's LCMS/MS.
Yes.
And can only find organic residue.
When it comes to organic residues, yes.
So, is it your evidence that your choice of this method is based on a global scientific consensus for looking for organic residue?
So in the several literature that we checked, they're using LCMS/MS.
Answer my question. Is it your evidence that your choice of this method was based on a global scientific consensus for organic residue?
Our choice of method is based on the publications in peer-reviewed literature, which suggest LCMS/MS as a method to conduct organic residues.
Okay, so there are peer-reviewed literatures that suggest it.
Yes.
So is there a global scientific consensus? For example, scanning electron microscopy, there's a global consensus on that method, right?
Like this one.
Scanning electron microscopy, ENFSI, for example.
Is it global?
Yes.
Is it global? What is the NFSI global?
Is there a global standard for finding lead, barium, and antimony?
I know of an ASTM from the Americans.
So just hold on. There is an ASTM method.
From Americans, yes.
So ASTM is the American Society for Testing and Materials.
Yes.
So there is one for that one. Is there an ASTM method for LCMS?
LCMS to do what?
Testing potential residue.
They are peer-reviewed scientific literature.
Is there an ASTM method?
I don't know of one.
You don't know of one. Secondly, you told us there is ENFSI.
STM.
ISTM, my lord, is the American Society for Testing and Materials. They have a standard method for testing for inorganic gunshot residue, right?
Yes, for sure.
So that standard is for testing.
For inorganic. And he's not aware of their organic one. Secondly, he has told us of another organization called the European Network of Forensic Science Institutes.
That you can say, but you can see.
But you know it.
I've heard about it.
ENFSI. European Network of Forensic Science Institutes.
Institutions.
Institutions. Thank you. And it has a standard method for organic, for inorganic gunshot residue, right?
That's what you told me.
Are you aware of it?
I was not. I said I wasn't.
Oh. Are you aware of the scientific working group on gunshot residue?
Yes, I'm aware.
Also has, so my lord, that is Scientific Working Group on Gunshot Residue. That's an abbreviation, right? It's abbreviated SWGSI. Capital. Right?
Yes, my lord.
It also has a method, published method for inorganic gunshot residue, right?
You know, I've not done this.
What about OSAC? Have you heard of OSAC?
I've not.
You have never heard of the Organization of Scientific Area Communities?
I've not.
Have you heard of the
Organization for
of Scientific Area Communities? It is part of, have you heard of NIST?
Yes.
NIST is what?
It's a US based entity. I don't remember its acronym.
So it's the National Institute of Science. and
It's not the
Technology.
National Institute of Science and Technology, it's US based. Yes, that's right.
I want to tell you that when you sent me to research the literature, because you sent me the report,
Yes.
you said that I should go online and find these things.
Yes, I've seen you on something.
Yes. So when you sent me, I found that NIST has an organization called OSAC,
Okay.
which has prepared a standard practice for the collection, preservation, and analysis of organic gunshot residue.
Okay, what does it say?
And they used liquid chromatography mass spectrometry.
Mass spectrometry.
Yes.
Not handy.
What all your fields?
No, they're different.
You'll show us. I'll show it to you and you'll show us.
this has an organization called OSAC,
OSAC.
and they have developed
We have developed a standard practice for the collection, preservation, and analysis of organic gunshot residue. Oh, my Lord, the sisters are moved out. Thank you. Thank you, madam.
yunamubuuza LCMS niyo yakozese niyo method eyo yakozesa okuba na testing eri yatesitingire mu laboratory yambuuza peer review method yangira ngu nagimanya yambuuza European Network of Forensic Institute yangira ngu libagigambire ngu abaza kugimanya then yambuuza a scientific network on gunshot residue yangira ngu nagimanyaho yambuuza yaba namanya osa yangira ngu takugimanya then yambuuza organization for scientific area communities yangira ngu takugimanya.
Okay? I want to give him the OSAC standard. Go to Mali. Please give one to someone.
My Lord, it is the prosecution that needs, it's not myself.
Much of that. I was just directing him.
It's more decent to say profit.
I'm sorry.
So that we don't
I'm
personalize.
sorry. I'm sorry. My apologies, Mr. Warden. Do you have it?
Yes, I have it.
Okay. Confirm that it is a standard practice for the collection, preservation, and analysis. Apologies. Back. Any indulgence? So you have the LCMS thing with you, right?
Which thing?
The LCMS, I mean the standard, the OSAC study, the OSAC standard practice.
If you are referring to this proposed one, I have it.
Yes. I want you to go to,
Disclaimer?
no, page 3.
I have to go to disclaimer.
You will go there. We shall go there. Don't worry, I'm coming to it.
Okay, I'm on page 3.
Paragraph. First of all, let's start at page 2. Sorry, let's start at page 2.
Let me start at disclaimer.
It is same thing.
I'm there, my lord.
You said page 2 has definitions, right?
It has terminology.
Terminology.
Yes.
I want you to look at 3.1.14.
3.1.14.
Yes,
Simple base.
yes.
Single base and small base powders containing nitrocellulose as a major energetic material.
Single base contains nitrocellulose as the major energetic material, right?
You know what that means?
I want to look at 3.1.5,
As the major,
energetic material.
You know what that means?
Tell us.
It's a major that could be minor.
it is a what?
Nitrocellulose as a major energetic material, right? Nitrocellulose as a major energetic material, right?
You read it right.
So double base is smokeless.
Double base.
And,
Smokeless powder and propellant, confirm you use them in this court interchangeably.
I will really answer your question. We are at
3.1.5.
3.1.5.
And we're asked to read double base.
Yes, double base in smokeless powder containing nitrocellulose and nitroglycerin as the major energetic materials.
So,
And the one we read before,
no. On that one. Double base. The major energetic materials for a double base are nitrocellulose and nitroglycerin. Right?
as indicated here.
Then, for a single base, the major energetic material is nitrocellulose, right?
Yes, that's what's indicated here.
What about smokeless powder, 3.1.15?
3.1 smokeless powder and a propellant and a low explosive composed of nitrocellulose and other organic and inorganic compounds.
So when I told you that nitrocellulose is the primary requirement for a propellant, I was right.
Smokeless powder, a propellant and low explosive composed of nitrocellulose and other organic or inorganic compounds.
You see nitroglycerin there?
No, but this means something else.
So a propellant
Language.
composed of
Read, first read it.
nitrocellulose.
A propellant and low explosive composed of nitrocellulose and other organic and inorganic compounds. That's what is written here.
That's smokeless powder.
That's what is written here, yes.
So we define three things: smokeless powder, single base, and double base.
You're confusing something.
No. First
You're
one.
confusing something.
Before we get there,
You're confusing
let's first agree.